All right, we are live. Welcome to another live edition of the Managing Partners Podcast. I am joined today with Jonah Zweig. Make sure I get that right.
Thank you, Kevin. Thanks for having
So,
me on.
yes, thanks for joining me today. Very interested to learn more about your firm, your business, and the audiences as well. So, anyone, if you're tuning in, got any questions along the way, please ask. We will get to those questions as we go through. And so just be patient. Jonah, thanks so much for joining me. So, introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about your firm.
Kevin, thanks again for having me on. Again, my name is Jonah Zweig. I'm the managing partner and one of the founders of the Zweig law firm based in New York City. We're a relatively new firm. We opened up our shop back in 2018. We've kind of taken some of our baby steps during, the recent COVID-19 crisis, which has certainly made things a little bit more exciting. We specialize in personal injury litigation, commercial litigation, some real estate litigation, and appellate practice as well. So our clients, cover a pretty broad range from private individuals who may be having trouble with, an injury or real estate or commercial matters to businesses to other law firms. Plenty of law firms reach out and contact us when they need special management or, another set of eyes to make sure that things are on track and, punch up their writing a little bit. So it's been a fantastic experience, setting up shop and growing it even during COVID, and we're excited for what's ahead.
Well, yeah, a big congrats on taking the plunge and starting your own firm and entrepreneurship. Something that I've I've been an entrepreneur for quite a while and wouldn't have it any other way. So congratulations on that. Obviously, starting during right before a pandemic, um, is full of challenges. I had a gentleman in recently who basically signed and started his business on January of 2020. So, um, you know, but still in business, and I think that's it's a good lesson right up front. Next time this happens, or a 2008 or a crash, yeah, this is nothing. I've already had to deal with this day one. So
Absolutely.
hopefully, good lessons learned all around, and hopefully it's mostly behind us, and we're getting back to normal now. So, all right, next question. What sets you apart? So you started this business in 2018. So you're new at this. There's a lot to figure out when you start a business and start a firm. Um, what things set you apart? What things are you doing, implementing processes, interactions with customers? Uh, what sets you apart from other firms in the area? And you're in New York, right? So you're serving
Right.
a pretty saturated area. But what makes
There's
you
plenty
different?
of competition down the street. Some of what sets us apart, it's a combination of flexibility and accessibility, along with true, genuine connection. So it's a new age. It's a technological world. We have clients that we connect with on Facebook Messenger. There are other clients who we WhatsApp with them. That we have gotten clients through Instagram, through direct messages, through comments on Instagram posts. We've done face to face. We've done emails. We've done phone calls. We've done faxes. You name it. If it's out there, we have connected with clients on it. Some of our clients prefer face-to-face contact. Some of them want to have a Zoom meeting, once a week. There have been clients we've never met in person. Whatever their comfort level is, that flexibility and connectivity is something that we're ready to handle. And it allowed us to pivot directly into the COVID crisis and continue providing service to our clients. At the same time, there's real connection. I'm proud to work with a team of attorneys that we genuinely care about the issues that our clients have, and that's something you can't fake. And it shows in our service to them, in the counsel that we provide, and in the work product that we're offering.
Yeah, I love that. That's excellent. So you're doing things that, for one, other firms may not be willing to do or be aware of. Uh, some older firms that are printing everything and kind of just now having to be forced into doing what we're doing right now, using Zoom and technology, where you kind of started that way, right? So And you're even utilizing other things like Instagrams and DMs and messaging on any platform to connect with these customers. So I think that's amazing. I think um, definitely sets you apart. And I think for a larger, older, established firm, that's going to be very difficult to tap into. So
We've been able to make that flexibility work for us, thankfully.
I love it. I've actually not really heard another managing partner mention that specifically um, in their marketing efforts. So job well done. That's awesome.
Thank you.
So to 2018. So you're not been around on the block for too long, but you're doing great things. You're already off the right path, and I love what you're doing. But what does success look like for you and your firm in 2021 and beyond? Of course, we're coming up on almost half the year going by, but
Unbelievable.
yeah, it's
Success
crazy.
for us in the long term is cornering the New York legal market, which I put in our 5-year plan. It shouldn't take too long till everybody's under our banner. But in the more short term, we are looking to continue to expand and grow. We've onboarded attorneys and support staff during COVID, which itself, more flexibility was needed in that. We've held interviews, entirely remotely, and we've been working with staff entirely remotely that have never been in a centralized office because that wasn't an option. And continuing to expand and offer more service and more capability for our clients, bringing on additional support staff, bringing on additional attorneys, taking on new matters, wherever our clients need us is where we want to be. And we want to have the capability and the depth on the bench to give it to them. And that's success not just in 2021, but beyond.
I love it. I love your 5-year plan and the fact that you have a 5-year plan, right? Uh, that's excellent. Setting those things big, right? Aiming for the for the stars. So that's great. So um, I think most people are like, well, I don't know what this year's going to hold, or they don't know what 2 years is going to hold, or 3 years is going to hold. So, but I think it's very important to have that vision and have a goal. And it shouldn't be the easiest goal. It should be challenging. And I think that's a mistake most people make in
No
entrepreneurship.
point having an ambition if it doesn't make you work for it.
That's correct. I had a gentleman on yesterday, a law firm out of Georgia, Atlanta. I said, "What's your goal?" $1 billion firm. Like, man, all right. So, and he is well on the way. And
I can certainly respect that.
yeah, so I was like, all right, I like this guy. So, his name's Luis Scott, and he was, I think, 23 lawyers to 147, or 23 employees to 147 in 3 years. So, um, very powerful, interesting guy. And so, yeah, you got to have big goals. You have to document that. You have to have a vision, and you have to visit that again and again until you're hitting that. And then, you'll likely hit that goal before the 5-year period. So,
Here's hope.
I love it. Yeah, cheers to that for sure. So, is there a marketing strategy? And I know you kind of talked about some of the things you're doing to connect with customers, communicate with customers using different methods. From a marketing standpoint, I guess outside of building some referral sources, what have you done that has worked well for you? Anything unique or different from when it comes to
So
marketing?
there's been certainly some classic marketing, especially when it comes to the more individual type of client and case matter, where word of mouth has been extremely powerful. Again, our clients can tell that we genuinely care about their issues and we genuinely want to work on helping them resolve whatever their problem may be. And that kind of genuine service gets you a referral to someone who's also thinking about their friends and family. Other things that we've done, which are a little bit more unusual, again, our firm is accessible on multiple social media platforms through all kinds of through WhatsApp, Signal, Facebook Messenger, what have you. And we had contact from other attorneys. And again, some of our clients are other law firms that we do drafting for and that we will step in to problem solve for. And there were attorneys that were reaching out and saying, hey, you're relatively new in the industry, but you guys are shaking things up a little bit. you should put out some tips. You should make recommendations for other, newer attorneys who can kind of work in the field and grow and develop. And so we've been putting out this series on Instagram of weekly or every so often we'll put out a simple practice tip. It's nothing. It's not rocket science. It's not earth-shattering information, but it's something that may not necessarily occur to you until you've read it, and then you might say, "Oh, yeah, that makes sense." And we've had a lot of positive engagement from that. We've had people reach back out to us to follow up on some of those points, ask their questions, provide counterpoints. It's been a really great source of feedback and information, and we love working with other attorneys and other firms. We will make referrals to other attorneys when we feel that there's a matter that's perfect for them. And we, of course, love getting referrals back and having people think of us. So that unusual marketing has also yielded results.
Excellent. I love it. And I'll just, we had a question come in, not so, which I usually save for the end, but kind of related to my question. This is from Adam Williams. In the technology age, what digital marketing strategies have you been using, if any? And he additionally added since the pandemic. So obviously you started not too far from the pandemic, but so yeah, back to this. So you mentioned you got Instagram series and things like that. Any other strategies that you be obviously you have a website and things like that in place?
So
Any other engagement? Yeah.
Sorry, in the digital marketing world, obviously, the hot buzzword is SEO, your search engine optimization. You need to be found. There's a lot of noise out there. There's a lot of clutter, and having clients be able to search for firms or attorneys and find you is huge. Thankfully, myself, my partner, other members of the firm, we've received awards over the years, which has of course helped boost our SEO. The more positive hits that you've got out there, the more likely that you're going to pop up on a search. But there are also digital marketing strategies out there which work to improve your SEO. And this is a new age of digital marketing that's very targeted. The traditional marketing of paper media and giant billboards on the side of a highway, that still works. There's definitely a place for that. And people are always going to want eyeballs on something big out there with a phone number. But we're also now in an age, not just in the law, across the board, where the ad can find the person who needs it, and it will come to them. And applying those kinds of strategies, using technology to, if you're a personal injury firm, getting construction accident information out to construction workers, that's targeted ads to the people who need them. So pursuing those kinds of strategies, we've also been able to expand our client base and footprint.
Excellent. Yeah, I couldn't agree more. Every medium really has its place. Digital, obviously, really what we focus on. You're able to just take it to a different level and get in front of the exact right prospect at the right time. So there's just so many strategies out there. And the SEO, man, it's been around for a long time since Google existed, and it remains this area of want from everybody. And Google keeps shaking things up. You want to be number one, you're going to have to do this. You're required to do this new thing. We're not going to tell you what you need to do, but
they make you work for it.
And you need to be playing by the rules. Any of the tricks and stuff, you're going to be shunned at some point. So I think you got to keep it down to the basics, really. And if you get there, it can change your business for sure.
Absolutely.
All right, next question. So you kind of told me a little bit about the marketing you've done and some of the really cool things that you guys have been doing, which I love. Anything on the agenda for improving? So you mentioned SEO. I think that's a constant battle and work. Is there anything that's, hey, we're going to be doing this. We're going to launch a series. We're going to podcast, or maybe it's getting Google ads, Google guaranteed, local service ads, things like that. Anything on the agenda that you guys are working towards and looking to roll out?
There are things that are bouncing around, the office that we've discussed. They're not quite in the hopper yet or on deck, but they're ideas that we're considering. Among them are podcasts or webcasts. And the general concept behind these ideas is getting information to the clients before they actually need it. Because let's take, a standard car crash client. Once someone's already been in a motor vehicle accident, it's a traumatic event. It's very difficult to respond to. And, whenever they're seeking out a lawyer, they may not know what they should have done or how they could have best prepared themselves or best protected themselves. And that kind of information, and obviously not just for car crashes, for all kinds of industries, if you can get information to the clients ahead of time and let them know what they can do to best protect themselves to ensure that in the event that something goes wrong, they'll be able to more effectively handle it, that is valuable information that drives client interest. And when the unfortunate happens, something does go wrong, they remember you. So if you put out, a little simple thing about, hey, get a dash cam for someone who might be in a car accident, or hey, consider re-upping your home insurance to ensure that it covers, natural disasters. Global warming is causing all kinds of things. Or hey, does your contract have a force majeure clause? Because we've seen the COVID-19 pandemic caused all kinds of problems with that. Numerous venues were unable to follow through on their contracts. If the clients are already thinking ahead by being informed, then you're already in their head and you're there when they need you. And so being ahead of the curve and being proactive rather than reactive are some of the ideas that we're considering and hoping to pursue in the near future.
Excellent. I love that. And content is huge. And not to mention, pro tip here is that can be repurposed content. So, getting it into people's hands early on and getting them educated is great. But you can also use that content for social media. You can use that content for articles and blogs. So when, say, someone do the research before they make calls, they wind up on your website. They find your firm. They're reading. They're learning. It could have been some of the same content you might have put in front of them before, or for others. But you can help boost your SEO, build more content, build more trust. And I think, I know we see this a lot, that people tend to do, depending on what the practice is, but they tend to do quite a bit of research. And if they wind up on a firm's page and they're immersed in that content and they're getting the right information they're looking for, it's a good chance they're going to use the firm that's been helping them out along the way.
Absolutely.
So definitely repurposing that content. I think you can turn that into videos. You can have a YouTube channel where you kind of do the same thing. So that's a lot what we do here is we might go live, then we'll take this video, we'll put it on YouTube, then we'll chop this up into small bits and pieces, and maybe there'll be little clips of me and you talking, on Instagram and LinkedIn and everywhere else. Make static images. And then we can also write this up as a blog piece where it's transcribed. So there's just infinite amounts of things you can do with one piece of content.
If you've got a piece of media that you're not utilizing for multiple purposes, you're underserving yourself. You're selling yourself short because there are so many ways to reach you. Why would you not want your content to be available every way the client might find it?
Absolutely. Just like you're doing already with communicating with clients, wherever they, however they want it and however they want to do it, we're going to do it and we're going to be there for them. So, yeah, 100%. I love that. On point for sure. So, Jonah, anything else you'd like to share about your firm? Any big news? Anything like that? And if not, I also want to know what's the best way to connect with you. Anyone watching this that wants to connect with you online, what's the best way to do that?
In terms of sharing our news, we've had a recent string of some appellate level victories in the appellate courts of New York State. We're hoping to continue that run. We've actually got a number of appeals that have been fully briefed and submitted before the courts. Some have already had their oral argument. Others are still waiting to be calendared. We're confident about the results that we're bringing to our clients, and we're pleased so far with the results that we have had, and look to continue that going forward. In terms of where we see things heading in other areas of the practice, it goes without saying, it's great news that the pandemic seems to be kind of easing up and some sense of normalcy returning. And that extends to the courts. And in New York, at least, trials are slowly beginning to ramp up. And so a lot of matters that have kind of been stalled and bottlenecked by being unable to find that final resolution in front of a jury or in a bench trial in front of a judge, we're looking forward to getting the ball rolling on that. And so as the court ramps up, we're eager to ramp up as well. In terms of where we can be reached, we're across the internet. You can find us online on our website, thezweiglawfirm.com. You can find the firm and myself on LinkedIn. We've got the social media on Facebook, on Instagram. Haven't gotten a Twitter account yet, but stay tuned. We will hopefully get one of those up as well. Google our names. You'll find us. We're there. The SEO is still working. Feel free to reach out, shoot us an email, give us a call, send any kind of message you want. WhatsApp, text, Signal, carrier pigeon, whatever it is, we'll find it.
Excellent, love it. Also, I posted a link in the comments for your firm, the website. Also, Jonah is tagged in this if you're watching right now on LinkedIn. We'll also be doing some more posts featuring him, and so you can also connect with him that way. And we have one more quick question. I guess I'll pull this up from Adam. You noticed an uptick in clients when the pandemic hit. So heard different things from different law firms and clients of ours from different practice areas. So it really depends, I think, on the practice area. But did you see increase in business in certain areas, a decrease in others? What did you guys experience?
That's exactly what we saw. We saw an increase in some areas and a decrease in others. There was a decrease in personal injury clients because, in a good way, people weren't going out and about and hurting themselves that much. And there were fewer cars on the road, fewer accidents. People stayed home during the winter, fewer slip and falls. Elective medical procedures were reduced, so you got fewer medical malpractice claims. So the personal injury, field definitely kind of slowed down. But on the flip side, the pandemic caused all kinds of uncertainty and instability in numerous other fields. And when that happens, people turn to attorneys. So bankruptcy has, dramatically increased. Family law matters have seen significant upticks. So have classic real estate and contract disputes. What does a contract mean in the context of a global pandemic? And what responsibilities and rights are available under that contract? Ourselves, we've seen within our firm an uptick in those kinds of commercial and real estate litigation matters, as well as in more regulatory and compliance matters. And our firm base, the other attorneys and the other firms that work with us, they've been coming during COVID because trials may have stopped, but the appellate court stayed open, and the attorneys who didn't have to go to trial suddenly found themselves with more opportunity for more complex motion and other submissions to the courts. And some of these fights got pretty intense. And so we've been tapped by other firms to provide additional support and expertise in those areas that may not have happened because of COVID. So obviously, the pandemic has been a crisis in numerous different ways, but it has not been without its own opportunities as well.
Excellent. Great answer and very insightful. I've heard pretty much a similar statement from a client of ours who in the Norfolk, Virginia area just today, actually, that pretty much has a very similar practice coverage as you do. But said very spot on the same thing. I think divorce was up for them. Personal injury was way down, and very similar to what you said. So that's interesting to kind of see that across different areas and different geographic areas is being pretty consistent, I think. So, well, Jonah, thank you so much for coming on today.
Thank you for having me.
Very excited for you. Congrats on. I know you didn't just start the firm, but it's like it's like a new baby every year, right? So, all of the success to you, and look for the show here soon. It'll be live, and we'll be posting it everywhere. Everyone, thanks for tuning in, and we'll catch you soon on another episode. If
Kevin,
you are looking, yes, sir. Anyone also watching now or in the future, you're looking for marketing solutions for your law firm, please check us out at arraylaw.com and reach out to see how we can help you. Jonah, talk to you soon. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.